The free $20,000 MLB 10 Runs for Free Cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR Forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR Forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome into SportsBookReview.com. It is Friday, it's payday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. Now, there was a video circulating here that Jason would not be on the show today. He is on the show, and here's the actual reason why. A 16 parlay for his down payment money went down the tubes. He no longer has the house. He's here with us. Hallelujah. Welcome to the show. I'm Donnie Seymour, Jason Radowitz, and Kyle Purviance. Is that the true story, Jason, behind it? It was a bad parlay, and your girlfriend is like, you know what, fiance, you got to go. You got to go.
You know, it's actually kind of funny because I think on this show yesterday, we actually swept the board between odds boosts, between value plays, between actual official plays. So kind of be hard to lose any kind of parlay when you're winning every single bet. So the actual news is that they just moved it back to Tuesday. I won't be here on Tuesday. I'm going to close on that house and going to make a man cave down in the basement in the next couple of weeks. And it'll be a completely different little view down there. And you won't hear any noise in the background either. So that should be even a bigger plus as well.
Yep, there will be no noise in the background. Jason will have a squat rack back there getting fired up before the show's down in his man cave, Kyle. But Jason brings up a great point. I mean, just looking at last night, like Yankees money, we talked about, we always go over different sports books here. Took the Yankees yesterday. It was a quick $50. They hit 3 home runs. That was another 25 on top of it. The Indians just massacred their team total, which was fantastic stuff. And then also the odds boost. Yu Darvish and Max Scherzer to each get 6 Ks. I shut the game off with Yu Darvish with like 1 strikeout. Woke up to see he got 6. I was like, what a day. And it's Friday, Kyle.
Yeah, I love it. Yesterday was amazing, right? We all just swept the board and all sorts of good things happened. And I had that same kind of sweat with Wheeler the other day. It seems like these pitchers, as the game goes on and the sweat builds up, they're able to start. So I wouldn't, if you're taking strikeout overs, you have those sorts of things, wait until early on, they don't have the same grip that they have later on in the game. I've started to notice that little bit of a trend. And how about that Chris Sale inning, right? Only the 3rd time ever joining Sandy Koufax. How cool is that? 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts. Love seeing that stuff. Today's payday. Thursday was payday. We're going to have double paydays this week. I think there's actually a lot of really nice spots on the card today. Looking forward to it.
There is, and a lot of dogs with fleas today, and I can't wait. They're my most exciting days here. When you get to bet some, I don't know, decent to below average baseball teams with some value today. I got a play today circled. I got a value play circled. Got a really nice odds boost, and we are rocking and rolling and ready to go. But before that, thank you guys once again. 87,700 subscribers. If you're watching, if you're new, if you're saying, hey, you know what? I really don't bet much baseball, but I'm ready to get in the football season. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the notification bell on. NFL shows, NCAA football shows, UFC, soccer. We have every single thing you need here on the networks outside of our Major League Baseball show. You saw the Lee Martin video there. Still a lot of money up for grabs in our SportsBookReview.com Major League Baseball contest. And oh, yes, the Pick 6 contest coming up here, $50,000 up for grabs during the regular season, $1,600 in victory money each and every week. If you need any more information here about it, how to bet Major League Baseball, get some articles, get some videos, just get some know-how and knowledge right below SBRpicks.com/MLB. Let's get the show popping today. No afternoon Major League Baseball, so we can dip into the card here on a Friday, have some fun, and get after it tonight. First game, we're going to talk about 9:15, 9:16, Boston and Cleveland. 2 lefties on the mound today. Rodriguez, the lefty, versus Allen, the lefty. 10s across the board. A heavy favorite for the Boston Red Sox. And I got to say, Jason, with this game, I agree. I think Boston finally has it back together. Schwarber's healthy in that lineup. Sale gave him a little bit of a boost. Rodriguez on the mound today. They should handle their business versus Cleveland.
Yeah, I agree. And, of course, Logan Allen, this is a guy that hasn't pitched well in the major leagues at all this season. His last outing against the Rays, 3.1 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, and get this, no strikeouts. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about this a little bit later on the show.
Oh, yeah.
For you guys. But yeah, Allen, he hasn't been good. He's allowed multiple runs in every game but one. That was against the Tigers back on April 11th when they were just absolutely awful offensively in the first place. So this is a guy 1-5, 9.13 ERA in 2021, a whip of 1.81. Not the guy you really want to be backing in any game this season, especially against a Boston lineup that's been really hot as of late. Now, I should say, against lefties, they haven't been nearly as good in the last 30 days. Their lineup would have a 136 ISO, 341 weighted OBA, not terrible, but it hasn't been, as good as, they've been against righties, which is why we took the Red Sox yesterday as our official play. But it's still good enough and should get the job done, especially with Allen on the mound.
All right. I mean, it should be an interesting one here. When you take a look at the breakdowns of what we like to look at for these games, Rodriguez over the last 30 days, not a bad xFIT, 3.75. Here's the interesting part. He's a lefty on the mound. He's only faced 19 batters, Kyle, over the last 30 days from the left-hand side, and they've actually gotten the better of him. But when you take a look at this lineup today for the Cleveland Indians, they're going to stack a lot of right-handed batters. Now, that usually is an advantage, but take a look at Rodriguez. Over the last 87 batters over 30 days that he's faced from the right-hand side, a 314 weighted on base average, and an ISO power number of .096. Something has to give today. I'm just betting on the Red Sox being an overall better baseball team to win this one here on the road. What are you thinking about this game?
Yeah, I agree. And I do think runs can be scored in this game. I think both teams' team totals are live. Like, you're getting a pretty nice minus 130 over 3.5 for Cleveland. Rodriguez hasn't been great against Cleveland. His last 2 starts, not overly 23 and 18 in terms of fantasy points. Does have a couple of blow-ups in his last 5 starts overall. Then he's got these 3 games sandwiched in that are just exceptional, right? So he's got that big explosive upside. So that's why you favor the Red Sox here. You can get a minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 135. But for me, I'm on Boston. I do think that Cleveland team total is live. When you look at Logan Allen, Jason touched on it beautifully. It's our prop of the day. It's under 2.5 strikeouts. So that's a low number. The books are starting to catch on with these canned pitchers. Typically, these numbers sit at 3.5. That's about as low as you see. But now we're getting it's under 2.5 strikeouts at plus 115. He has not pitched past the 4th inning in 5 consecutive starts. He has gotten to 3 strikeouts once in those 5 starts. That was against the Tigers. He got exactly 3 in 5 innings pitched. You got to remember the Tigers strike out the 4th most in baseball. Team like Boston, near the top half in terms of not striking out. They should be able to have contact today. It's a huge weighted 964 3-year OPS. I expect Boston to win today. I like him in the first 5 innings. And I do like both teams' team total, and I love that strikeout under prop for Logan Allen.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I completely agree with your guy's sentiment there. And that's the reason why they're a heavy favorite, the Boston Red Sox. I like the pitching matchup, obviously, much better. And Allen is not a very good pitcher, but sometimes I wipe them off my board because I don't have enough innings from him recently. But even if you go back to the minors this year, I mean, take a look at 11 games he started, 48.2 innings pitched in the minors, a 7.95 ERA. It's not going to get any easier here in Major League Baseball versus the Red Sox in this game. So it lines up really well. But again, the only reason why I did not make that a wager for myself, who knows? I might mess around with it later, first inning to score yes or whatever it would be. But they just didn't have enough innings for me. But I certainly agree with the sentiment. No question in my mind, Boston should be raking tonight versus the Cleveland Indians. Next game up on the – actually, you know what? Did I skip a game here? No, I didn't. Let me just make sure I'm going in order here. There we go. San Francisco and Atlanta. Gausman and Fried, and I guess Jason says at this point, get the hell out of here, Giants. Tired of watching you each and every night here. Slight favorite here towards Atlanta. 123s, 130s, 135s, as high as it gets there at DraftKings. 8 to 8.5 across the board. Primarily 8.5, but we did have an opening number at Pinnacle Offshore that opened at 8. I don't know about you. The 2 best teams to me in baseball right now who never lose a single game are the Dodgers and the Giants. And for me to see this cheap price and actually a slight favorite on the Giants, how do we just fade them, Jason? I can't do it. They're a great baseball team, and I can't get around it.
Well, knowing that the Phillies and also the Mets, we are both under 500, still fighting for the NL East, we're going to both be rooting against the Braves. Obviously want the Giants to win these games against the Braves and, see the Phillies and the Mets start winning against, worse competition, like the Phillies get Arizona, can, figure that out.
Really
and
then
the Mets, Nationals, but look, Gausman hasn't been that great against righties in the last 30 days. His last 48 plate appearances, 385 weighted OBA, ISO of 200. You go to this lineup for the Braves. Yeah, they're going to have Riley, Swanson, two guys that have been really hot as right-handed batters. Against righties, Duvall also would be in the lineup. Soler, a righty. Albies, a righty. So there's some potential in that Braves lineup. And, the Giants, they're finding a way to win these tight games. Obviously, they're able to close those tight games, something that really the NL East hasn't done just yet. The Giants, their lineup looks pretty good against lefties as well. Fried's been a lot better than Gausman as of late. Tough one. I don't want to side with the Braves here, but I do think the Braves should be able to score some runs with those right-handed bats against Gausman. So take it for how you want to take it.
Yeah, no, you're right. If you just look strictly at the numbers, pitching-wise, and, how they match up, Fried's had a pretty good run here. About 120, it looks like, 97 batters for the right side, 31 for the left-hand side. He's handled his business very well over the past 30 days. Gausman, we do know, is a good pitcher, nice xFIP over the last 30 days, but right-handed batters are getting to him. Theoretically, if you're just looking at the numbers itself, but also, I've been waiting the whole year for San Francisco to fall off the table. They just don't stop winning, which is incredible stuff, Kyle.
Yeah, and then that's the problem, right? Like, I agree with you guys. Based on the numbers, first of all, it's not like astronomically one way or another. It's a slight lean to the Braves. They have the better lineup. They just have power and talent up and down their lineup. You can find some holes in that Giants lineup for sure. But for me, this is just a principle thing. This is pretty 50-50. I think Gausman and Fried, I would give the slight edge to Gausman, higher strikeout numbers, etc. Probably a little bit. His upside's a little bit higher than Fried's, I would say, by a nose. But this is just on principle here. We're talking about the Giants. We all have been waiting for them to fall off. It didn't seem like this was supposed to be a team with the talent they had to win this many games. But we're talking about one of the best teams in baseball, and you're getting plus money on them, right? You're getting them as an underdog. People love to bet underdogs in baseball, justifiably so. The best teams lose 65, 70 games. So, of course, you're going to find a lot of spots to have plus money. When you get a team with the pedigree of the Giants, with the record of the Giants, the way they've been playing at plus money in a 50-50 spot, for me, I stayed away. It's too tough to call. But if I'm betting this, it's a dog or pass situation, and I'm taking the Giants.
Yeah, no, and I can look. These are two good baseball teams going head to head. Atlanta, obviously at home. The Giants in the midst of a road trip. But I can't. It's August 27th. I'm done with saying like this team. I still do think the Dodgers are the best overall team in the National League.
Of course.
But if you're back a couple games and the team in front of you never loses, it doesn't matter if you're the Dodgers and you never lose. It seems like you can't make up any ground. We'll see how September turns out here to go because loaded for a bit. Walker Buehler's out there. Max Scherzer's out here. Clayton Kershaw's probably going to be coming back. It'll be tough to hold off the Dodgers. But then that said, if you never lose, you can't lose any ground in the standings. 921, 922, New York Yankees. Talking about never lose. Garrett Cole now on the mound versus Manaea. And we have a favorite here, 153 offshore Pinnacle up from 141. 146 we opened here in FanDuel in New Jersey. 164 now. 8 and 7.5 still appearing across the board. And this just looks ride the streaks out. The Yankees are hot at the plate. They're getting decent pitching. They should be able to win this game. This is a pitching mismatch to me, and my odds boost coming up shortly here is going to have something to say about this game. Yankees for me, once again, you give me a 150 or so with Garrett Cole on the mound, sign me up, Jason. Sign me up.
Yeah, man, look, Manaea he's been awful in this month. In the month of August, a 9.77 ERA. He's allowed 5 home runs, only 14 strikeouts and 15.2 innings pitched. This is a guy we talked about, potentially being able to win the Cy Young earlier on in the season. He looked really good. Had an ERA below 3. I think it was in July where he had an ERA below 3. Now it's jumped up basically an entire run. And so the Yankees, obviously their offense is really hot as of late. The top of their order against lefties, they've been patient. They're walking a ton. Guys like Rizzo, Stanton, Gallo, Voit, Urshela should be back in the lineup today as well. Higashioka also has some power against lefties, and he'll be catching for Cole in this game. So there's a lot to like in this Yankees lineup. LeMahieu and Judge, they've struggled a little bit, but at least they walk and they don't strike out very often against lefties. So at least get the ball in play, and maybe something good could happen if they're up with guys that are on base. And then, like you talked about, Cole, obviously the way better pitcher in this game. And, not taking anything away from the Athletics offense. It's really not bad. It's just not nearly as good. They're only walking 7% of the time. They're hitting ground balls 44.2% of the time. Weighted OBA just 325. They're not striking out, but, that will probably inflate a little bit when they take on Cole. who has 35.7% strikeouts and 51.2% ground ball. So I expect the Yankees to win this game pretty handily. If you go on William Hill, there's a little bit of a boost there where you can double your earnings if the Yankees win, or you can take the Athletics and you double your earnings if the Athletics win. So you can check that out on William Hill. I think it's like $70 to earn $50 back on top of your already winnings. So look at that. You can try to earn some more money on the Yankee game if you want to go that route.
Yeah, exactly. And don't be confused when you type in William Hill and it comes up Caesars. What? Yeah. Who's stealing my internet right here?
Yeah,
it is an interface change there. But the good part about Caesars there is they have a lot of nice little booths here that you can take advantage of if that is available in your state. And Jason brings up a good point here, Kyle. When you take a look at Gerrit Cole on the mound, obviously this is the number one pitcher that we all anticipated. Had the COVID, scare. I don't know, call it a scare. He had 2 weeks off basically to hang out with his family. Came back and was right back to his dominant self. Now, if you look at the Oakland lineup, specifically over the past 30 days, they match up very well with right-handed pitchers. But Cole isn't your average. He's not such a rando out here pitching with his right hand. No, this is Gerrit Cole. They should win this game. What are you looking at in this game? Outside of maybe a team total over, under? What are the looks that you got here today?
I looked over at this 5 innings and it jumped off the screen to me. I'm getting such a low number for a Gerrit Cole start against Sean Manaea, who has not been very good. He's been getting raked. Now, I will say 2 of his last 3 starts against the Yankees, he's been pretty effective. And I also say 5 straight starts for Gerrit Cole where he's just shut down the A's. The A's lineup, I do agree over the last 30 days, they're hotter and they do profile a little bit better. But overall, if I take a big sample size, the numbers are exponentially in the Yankees' favor here. You're getting the Yankees minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings at minus 105. That seems real short for Gerrit Cole and Sean Manaea. That feels like, just to put it in perspective, in my eyes, Gerrit Cole versus Sean Manaea is like Patrick Mahomes versus Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, so I like the Yankees here. The Yankees have been red hot. They profile nicely, a weighted 779 3-year OPS. I do think there's some live bats in that Yankees lineup tonight. I know there's some Joey Gallo odds boosts I saw out there as well, but we got some advantages here in this Yankees lineup. I think they hit tonight. Aaron Judge, 3 of 9 lifetime. He's got a home run off of Manaea. DJ LeMahieu, 2 of 5. Gary Sanchez, 2 of 4. I mean, you just go up and down the lineup. Joey Gallo, 4 of 16. Of those 4 hits, 2 of them were home runs. Gio Urshela, he's got a home run if he's in the lineup tonight. So this team has hit Manaea. Manaea does not profile all that well against a red-hot Yankees lineup. Gerrit Cole's Gerrit Cole. I mean, we're talking near even money for Gerrit Cole versus Manaea here. I'll take the minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 105 for the Yankees.
Yeah, they got out early yesterday, too. Really started knocking around the Athletics. But the Athletics came back, still needed that one late run by the Yankees to push them over the top. But that, again, was a profitable night. Picked up a free $75 in boost and also the $50 that you needed to get in to get that odds boost, or I should say home run boost on Thursday dingers, not Dinger Tuesday like the FanDuel Sportsbook does have. So a lot of these books, as they're coming to your states, check them out each and every day. You don't have to bet every day, but if something turns up that is a nice little boost, they say, you know what, this falls in line with exactly what I like today, and it's boosted up with something nice. Fantastic stuff here across the board. Let's talk some value menu wagers today. Yesterday, easy peasy for me with the Indians. I'm going to come back today with the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Miami Marlins down in Miami. Just comes to a fact over the second half of the season for me. If we take a look at the numbers for Zach Thompson, 33 2/3 innings pitched. How about this one? 5.13 xFIP number. Disastrous. Lefties getting hammered by them. 362 weighted on base average, 225 ISO power number anticipated in the lineup tonight. 4 out of the 8 batters tonight should be from the left-hand side, so you get that nice balance between lefties and righties. And also, we're not talking about 5 runs. We're not talking about 4 runs. I'm talking about 3.5 at minus 155 that I got this morning on BetMGM. Give me 4 runs, 9 at bats on the road. Cincinnati, sign me up for that one. That's value to me. Taking those Reds, 3.5 minus 155. Jason, what do you got today?
So we got the Orioles playing another game against the Rays, and the Rays have destroyed the Orioles all season long. Yeah, the Orioles won their last 2 games, and that was really due to their offense, and that's fine. But Matt Harvey's on the mound, and we're going to go fade him. Over 3 for the Rays, minus 131 in the first 5 on the team total. You go back to his other 2 starts against the Rays, went 4.2 innings, allowed 5 runs, 2 home runs, and in the other start, he went 1.2 innings and allowed 6 runs, another 2 home runs in that game as well. So I like that over 3. I get 4, but 3 will just get you the push. And then going to that Mets-Nationals game, I like the Nationals against my Mets. I think both teams score, but Nationals over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 130.
Yep.
We talked about this before. The Nationals are really good against lefties. They have a lot to like in that lineup. And then Rich Hill, this is a guy who's allowed 2 or more runs in every start but 1 for the Mets since joining the team. So 2 runs really not going to be hard for the Nationals. So another play there, over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 130. Those are the 2 value plays for me.
I like it there. What do you got, Kyle? Value. What are we pushing?
I got a couple of team totals here. I'm going to go with the White Sox against our boy Keegan Thompson here, who, hopefully doesn't pitch a no-hitter today, but this guy is a can, plain and simple. And, of course, we get that just depleted and abysmal Cubs bullpen as well. White Sox team total over 4.5. You can get it at BetMGM. BetMGM, for me, is the best place for baseball team totals. You can get any number you want. If you want to pay up for it, you can get it. Over 4.5, it's at minus 145. Got advantages up and down the lineup. Yasmani Grandal is going to be back in that lineup soon. I don't know if he'll be there today. I don't know if they're activating him for today's game, but I know it won't be Andrew Vaughn. They sent him down, right? Was that the kid they sent down, the catcher? One of those kids
Zach Collins. Zach
Collins. But they did activate Yasmani Grandal, and once he comes back in that lineup, that White Sox team's going to be absolutely legit. You're 100% right. But even if he's not, let's assume he's not, just for argument's sake here, we still got advantages of 9, 75, 36, 13, 62, 24, and 6% here. I think the home run prop is absolutely live for Eloy Jimenez tonight. He absolutely smashes right-handed pitching. Thompson, of course, smaller sample size, been a little bit better against righties and lefties, but not a huge sample size there. White Sox over 4.5 at minus 145. And just for one more, again, you can go back to BetMGM. You can get this total at over 4.5. It's at minus 155. We've got our boy Matt Manning on the mound tonight for the Detroit Tigers against the Toronto Blue Jays. I know the Blue Jays have been struggling just a little bit. 3rd highest weighted OPS on the card tonight. The Blue Jays up and down the order have advantages. Simeon, Bichette, Hernandez, Vladimir Guerrero home run prop is absolutely live tonight. You get a bad starter, bad bullpen, over 4.5 runs, minus 155. White Sox and the Blue Jays on the team total tonight on the value menu.
There you go. Let's get to some odds boosted action here for a Friday. Profitable day on the boost yesterday, and I expect nothing less today. For myself, I'm going to ride right back on that K train that I went with last night when Yu Darvish picked up 6 Ks. Max Scherzer was absolutely filthy yesterday, easily picking up his 6 Ks for that plus 170. Today, we're going to go a little bit more juicier. A 180 price boosted up to plus 210. That is Garrett Cole to get 8 or more strikeouts tonight and a Yankees win. So I'm going with that tonight, and I expect to catch that one a little bit later on tonight. Jason, what are you looking at with your odds boost today?
Fox Bet has Trey Turner to get 2 or more hits at plus 200, boosted from plus 175. Turner, 375 ISO, 522 weighted OBA against lefties in the last 30 days, or 17 plate appearances. No strikeouts whatsoever, and just 5.9% walks. So putting the ball in play, 37.5% ground balls, 25% line drives against lefties, and he's also batting first. So you're probably going to get maybe 5 at bats, potentially 6 with this Dodgers lineup against the Rockies bullpen when the game gets later. So yeah, you might get 6 at bats for Trey Turner here just to get 2 hits at plus 200. We're gonna roll with that. Probably at least gets 5 at-bats to get 2 hits, and should be able to do that against the lefty in Freeland, and then also, of course, the bullpen of the Rockies.
And there we go, Kyle. Odds boosted. What do you got tonight? We're looking at K props, looking at hitter props, home runs. What do we have?
Well, if I wish I could get some K props on those odds boosts, those are the ones I like a lot. But there is one now I will keep in mind before I mention this game. There is some weather concerns in this Rays-Baltimore game, so it could be one where something's a little weird here. But you know what? I know Matt Harvey's been a little bit better than he's supposed to be lately, but this is fade Matt Harvey day, and I would be remiss if I didn't give Matt Harvey at least a little bit of crap here on the show. Over the last 3 seasons, his OPS to right-handed pitching is a 1080 to right-handed batting, He absolutely struggles against righties. The Rays should smash tonight. I know the Orioles are kind of sneaky against left-handed pitching, but I think McClanahan gets it done tonight. He's been very, very good. So my odds boost tonight was the Rays to win and a Nelson Cruz home run. That's boosted up to plus 425 over at William Hill / Caesars. You will type in William Hill. You can still type that in, but it will show up as Caesars now with the new interface. So it's good that you pointed that out. So Nelson Cruz to homer and the Rays to beat Matt Harvey. And the Baltimore Orioles boosted up to 425 is the odds boost today. You can find that at William Hill /Caesars.
All right, let's take a look here and get to some best bets on the Major League Baseball board. And how about this one for a nice Friday return? Sometimes you got to put some faith in some areas that you haven't trusted so far. But you know where I'm going tonight? Going up to Flushing. That's Queens. That's New York City. That is the New York Mets tonight. Now, before you say, oh, no, they're off the live wire, you have to know when to buy low in circumstances. You have to understand that the Mets went through about 40 straight games of playing the two best teams in Major League Baseball. Top of the rotations, unbelievable bullpen, situational styles. Now you are going to be in the lap of luxury, like you are going down to a Sandals resort down in the Caribbean. Kick your flip-flops off and be like, let me get this straight here. Paolo Espino is going to be on the mound, 4.44 xFIP number over the past 30 days. How about this one? Equal opportunity, destruction, and terror versus this guy. Why is that? Take a look at his weighted on base average to lefties, 396. Hey, maybe he's doing well against righties. Yeah, that's a 419. Well, maybe they're just getting on base from walks and not doing any damage. Lefties, 226 ISO power number. How about those righties? A 400. Hey, Pete Alonso, make a house call tonight. How about a 3-run blast in the first inning? How about another 3-run blast in the 6th inning here? Because you know what happens here? When Paolo Espino gives his 5 innings and 3 earned runs, you know who you hand it over to? The Washington bullpen. Over the last 2 weeks, we have 30 teams, obviously, in Major League Baseball. They are 29th in bullpen efficiency. And you know what that equates to? When you have a xFIP number above 4, it gets a little bit shaky. How about if your bullpen has a 5.7 xFIP over the last 40 innings? I'm getting 8 innings tonight. The Mets will get 5 runs, and Pete Alonso is going to hit one into orbit. I hate the Mets. I can't stand them. I hope they lose the game. But if they lose 6-5, I'm cashing that ticket in. My play of the day today, those New York Mets, 4.5, minus 135, bet MGM. And if you're not with me, you're against me. So go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, look, Donnie, I am totally with you here. If the Mets can score 5 runs, I will be very happy. I'm rolling with that with you. I love the play. And, yeah, the Mets, they're obviously not going to have to go against the Dodgers and the Giants these next 2 weeks. They're going to get the Nationals and the Marlins, and that could lead us back into playoff contention. So I know you guys are going to call me a homer. I get it, whatever. On to my play. I like the Cardinals over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total. It's now hit plus 105. So the line movement a little bit different than what we're used to. I had it at minus 105 earlier, now seeing it plus 105. And that's going to happen. That's okay. I'm not a sharp. I'm just a guy that looks at analytics and finds what he likes the most. Dylan Peters is on the mound, a left-handed pitcher, and you guys are going to be like, wait a minute, is he a prospect? Who is he? Well, no, he's pitched since 2017. He's 28 years old, and he hasn't really made it into the majors because he's just not very good. He's had 2 solid starts to begin his time with the Pirates, has just a 1.86 ERA, and actually just pitched against the Cardinals, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and had 11 ground balls in that game through just 5 innings. But you look at it from the analytics perspective, 5.29 xFIP, striking out just 14.3% of the batters in those 2 games. Also walked 9.5% of the batters. Now the Cardinals, they're going to have, most likely they're going to have the entire lineup will be left-handed or right-handed against the lefty in Peters. And then also Tyler O'Neill should also be back in the lineup today after he was out for, I think, 3 or 4 games due to an injury. Having him in the lineup, having Arenado in the lineup, Goldschmidt already has a home run against Peters. I think it's just 4 at-bats. So those 3 guys have a lot of home run potential against Peters. And if you look at Peters just from an entire MLB standpoint, in 142 innings, he actually has an FIP of 5.67 and an xFIP of 5.24. His WAR is minus 0.3 and also allowing 1.71 home runs. So he hasn't allowed a home run yet for the Pirates, but that's going to happen today. And we're going to cash that ticket. We're going to get at least 3 runs from the Cardinals in the first 5 innings.
Also, quick thing on the Mets as well. Jason brought up, liking the Washington Nationals. I think we can get a little bit of a running mate with the Nationals tonight to try to push that up in case you need to get that. Because I'm the biggest cheerleader. The Nationals get 4 runs. I am partying and celebrating at that point. Because that means I'm going to activate at least that 9th inning at bat, which I'm going to need. Kyle, best bets and bankers on the board tonight. Where are we going?
You know what? I'm going to give 2 for 1 game and 1 team. How about that? I've talked myself into it while you were talking. I loved all the beautiful things. It made my mind start to work more as we're talking. And The fact that Don, look, if you're going to come out here with balls of steel and take the frickin' Mets on a team total, right, which I completely agree off on all. There's very few people I would actually listen to that said Mets team total. I said, you're an absolute moron. But the numbers are there. You're right as I just look through. So if you're going to have balls, I'm going to join you. Friday is payday. So we're going to go to the Cincinnati Reds. First of all, you go over to BetMGM. You get their team total over 3.5. That's at minus 145. Look, we got Zach Thompson on the mound. You guys know what this guy is all about. 3 of his last 5 starts, he's got fantasy points under the teens. It's a weighted OPS of 882. The Reds should absolutely smash. I know there was some rumors I saw like odds boost and stuff for Jesse Winker. He's not in the lineup. He'll be out for a couple more weeks. But you've still got advantages up the board. Nick Castellanos, 2 at-bats against Thompson. Home run. Kyle Farmer, he's 1 for 2. Naquin, he's 1 for 1. Up and down the board, 73, 91, 62, 69, 66, 27, and 43% advantages up and down the board. The Reds should hit tonight. You go over to BetMGM, you get that team total over 3.5. We only need 4 runs off of Zach Thompson and the Miami Marlins bullpen. Ooh. Sign me up. You just saw them give up 3 runs to the Nationals in the 8th and 9th inning, and they should have given up the 4th and extra innings the other night. And in that same vein, I like the Reds minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings. I know Wade Miley is not a world beater, but he's certainly better than Zach Thompson. He does have high upside. There are these games where he sort of implodes, and I will admit the Marlins profile better than you like to take on a best bet in the first 5. It's a 725, which is a little bit. I like them when they're down in those 6 and 500s. But Wade Miley, 52, 46, 32, and 3 of his last 5 starts. High upside here. Certainly the better pitcher. So I'll take the Reds team total over 3.5 minus 145, and an even better number, minus 0.5 in the first 5 at even money. Sign me up for that. It's a fade of Zach Thompson. I think the Reds get it done tonight.
All right, how about this? 69 thumbs up, no thumbs down. Kyle says there's jokes for that, but I'll tell you what's not a joke. 425 people watching on a Friday knowing it is payday and we can get after it. So you know what we're going to do now? Let's hit the rest of the Major League Baseball board. Now, we probably have to do it in a timely fashion here, Russ. We are going to be here once the games actually start off. But let's go to Philadelphia. Hey, look at this. Philadelphia Phillies are out here against a bad baseball team. You could have confused me who the actual bad baseball team is. It's pretty much the Phillies at this point. But get this one. You want to go to FanDuel and go minus 260 on those Philadelphia Phillies, Jason, with Nola on the mound. Have at it.
It's only going to be Herrera and Harper. Those are the 2 lefties that can do damage. Maybe Didi Gregorius, maybe Miller. They do have, like, the Phillies have enough lefties to do damage against Widener, who has a 6.22 xFIP in the last 30 days. Also walking 17.1% of batters. I mean, he's been awful against lefties. So guys like Harper, like if you're looking for a home run prop, I'm sure Kyle will talk about it. Harper's a big guy, right? 469 ISO, 86 play appearances against righties in the last 30 days, and Widener is one of the worst against lefties in all of baseball. Also, Herrera's been really good in 70 plate appearances. So, yeah, I mean, there's enough lefties in the lineup that can do damage against Widener. And look, Nola has looked really good. 3.7 xFIP, striking out 30.4% of the batters. We've seen this kind of story again. He doesn't get any run support, and it's happened to Wheeler a little bit as well. Early in the game, they don't get run support, and then things just kind of falter late in the game, and then they're doomed. But in the first 5, I still like the Phillies here. If you can get a minus 0.5 at a reasonable number, I know it's going to be a little bit juiced, but I would still ride Nola here, and I think that the lefty bats in the lineup can do some damage. So I would go that direction.
All right, let's keep moving down. Battle of the lefties here, Pittsburgh and St. Louis. And yesterday, if you watch that game, now look, here's why you take team totals, right? Hey, St. Louis, team total over. Awesome. Won it. Shut the TV off. No. I had the side yesterday. It's going to be an easy winner anyway. Not so fast as Pittsburgh comes screaming back in that game. Another favorite here, about $1.50 at FanDuel, $1.55 at DraftKings, $1.55 at Bet365. 9s, some 8.5s on the board still here between St. Louis and Pittsburgh. Any thoughts here in this game, Kyle? Because when Happ's on the mound, he's just not backable for me at this point.
Yeah, he's not, but I will say this. It was when I see J.A. Happ and I see the Pirates, who actually everyone thinks they strike out a lot. They're one of the lower strikeout teams in all of baseball. But J.A. Happ, for some reason, has had Pittsburgh's number 45, 41, 40, and 40 in his last 5 starts against Pittsburgh. So it makes me a little nervous. I agree with Jason's assessment. I do think St. Louis should score early. I actually like St. Louis in that same vein. You get plus money, plus 105, minus 0.5 in the first 5. For some reason, Happ has been very good against Pittsburgh. You could attribute that to, maybe just having a good day that week, and it's a coincidence. or of course the Pirates never have a real major league lineup in the first place. So there's a couple factors there. I prefer the Cardinals here. I like that plus money in the first 5 innings as well, and I like Jason's team total in the first 5 innings. When you look at how they profile here, 878's 4th highest on the card tonight. Nice high-weighted OPS here. I think the Cardinals lineup hits. Arenado, Goldschmidt, home run props certainly live.
Yep, I agree with you there. Let's take a look next game. And I don't know, maybe you keep it simple in this and stop overthinking yourself with the Baltimore Orioles. We know they're not a good franchise overall, but they did have an offensive surge over the past couple of days. But the one thing is sure, they might be able to hit, but they certainly can't pitch or have any bullpen action. So I see a 10 across the board here coming up with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay should be able to hit Harvey. Baltimore has some powerful hitters at the plate, but the one thing we do know is I'm going to get 9 at-bats from Tampa Bay today against that terrible, slash starting pitching, slash bullpen action today. Are we overthinking things and just not riding overs every single time the Orioles play at Camden Yards?
It would make sense, and the Rays, they've destroyed Harvey in his 2 starts on the season against them. It's been 12 runs through 6 innings. I mean, that's how bad he's been against this Rays offense. So, the Orioles, their offense potentially could hit. McClanahan's been really good, but the Orioles, maybe they'll hit a couple home runs. Maybe they'll do some damage. But at the end of the day, it's really the Rays offense that is the most consistent of the bunch and should get the job done against Harvey. And, of course, the bullpen of the Orioles as well. So I'll take the Rays over 3 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 131. And that is on PointsBet. And just know, if we get 3, it's a push and you move on to the next day. You get 4, it's a winner. So I like that 3 number. It just gives me a little bit of insurance.
Quickly on this next one, I have a best bet and banker in this game, Washington and the New York Mets. And look, Rich Hill's not a very good pitcher, hasn't been good over the past 30 days. I do think Washington has a chance to get some hits, and I'm hoping they do. I would love a nice 2 spot in the first inning by the Washington Nationals to force the Mets to play some offensive baseball tonight. Minus 215, minus 220s at some outlets across the board. It's a little expensive here for the Mets, but that just goes to show you the Mets aren't playing good baseball, but at the same time, what do we do in every sport? If you go through 4 straight games in the NFL playing the top teams in the NFL and you don't look so good, then you get a bottom feeder. You improve immediately just because why? You're playing a bottom feeder. What it gives here in this game, Kyle, between the Mets and some quick thoughts here with the Nationals?
Yeah, I think you do get a running mate. I think both pitchers stink. Rich Hill, 4 straight starts against Washington, nothing more than 21. 3 of those starts, 11, 12, and 12. You look at his last 5 starts overall, he's been absolutely smashed. Both lineups profile nicely here. Both teams should be able to score runs. Love the balls of Donnie on that Mets team total. I think the Washington team total is absolutely live, and for the game, going over 9 makes a ton of sense to me as well. I would not pick a side in this game because I do think both pitchers are hittable. There should just be runs. That's the way I would approach it. Team totals and overs. That's where I'm at on this game. Both teams very, very hittable tonight.
Line dropping here, Jason, in this game. Some thoughts here between the Reds and the Marlins. Miley versus Thompson. Not a big, Thompson fan per se. I do think that Cincinnati lineup should hit. The lineup is official. India, Naquin, Castellanos, Votto, Moustakas, Farmer, Barnhart, and Schrock in the game today. Numbers are down a little bit here from the opening line. 146 offshore to 137. Here at FanDuel, 154 to 142. 8 across the board.
Look, I love the Reds lineup. It looks great. And Thompson, 5.44 xFIP, striking out 15.2%, walking 11.1%. He's been awful against lefties, so it would be cool if Winker was around and able to be in this lineup as well. But either way, the Reds offense has looked really good. When you have an ISO of 276 and a weighted OBA of 368, you're doing something well, doing something good. And then also, of course, the ground ball rate really low, 34.7%. Line drive rate nearing 25% against righties in the last 30 days for that lineup. So a lot to like in that lineup. I think the Reds get the job done offensively and win this game.
All right, Toronto and Detroit. Matt's the lefty versus Manning, the righty on the mound. 9.5 across the board. Heavy favorite here for Toronto, coming in about 174 in New Jersey, 164 offshore. Kyle, quick thoughts on this game between Toronto and Detroit?
Yeah, well, obviously I like the Toronto team total. It's on the value menu over 4.5. I know a lot of outlets have 5.5. Obviously, if you're capping the game for them to get 5 runs, you expect them to get 6 runs, right? Donnie says that all the time, and I certainly think both of those are live. Yep. But I will say this, on the contrary, on the other side of that, the Tigers team total, I'm looking at over 4, minus 115. So if I went to BetMGM, I'm probably looking at over 3.5, minus 135, minus 140, somewhere in that range. The Tigers absolutely profile well against Mats. They really, really do. When you look at advantages here in this lineup, this is why I wouldn't take the side, or, like if I would, it's heavy underdog or pass. But all 9 batters projected tonight for Detroit are in the green for me as I sit right here. Steven Matz, not a good pitcher. We've got guys like Cabrera. He's got a home run in his career. Scope, he's got a home run in his career. Zach Short has a double, for Christ's sake. Zach Short's probably the worst baseball player in the entire world. Right? I mean, Donnie, how much do you love Zach Short? We know you do.
Mr. Double Play?
Yeah, he's your favorite
not
player,
meaning
right?
he's turning double plays. He's actually making double plays.
That's right. So even though I love that Toronto team total, and it's on the value menu over 4.5, I do think the Tigers have a really decent shot to get to 4 runs as well. So if your book has it at 3.5, I like that quite a bit. Pay the juice, get it to 140, 145, whatever it is. But there should be runs scored in this game. And if you're going to take a side, you may as well take the heavy underdog. The best time to bet against Toronto is when Steven Matz is on the mound. I think we can all agree on that. He's probably their worst starting pitcher. So when I see teams who are vulnerable like that, I might look at the underdog there, but I like both sides team total.
Yeah, we know how things are going well here is when Glenn Otto was on the mound for the Texas Rangers tonight, going up against Odorizzi, coming over in that trade with the New York Yankees for Joey Gallo. Obviously, not a lot of major league time per se. -210s, -200s. This is a game I didn't cap because I usually don't. Even though I do think they should be able to scrape this guy, I just leave him off the board for the most part. What do you think, Jason, between Odorizzi and Otto here?
Yeah, so the Astros, 361 weighted OBA and a 189 ISO against righties in their last 30 days. They're also walking 10.2%, and you would assume that Otto probably walks a couple batters. The Astros also 25.5% line drive percentage against righties in the last 30 days. So, yeah, I still think the Astros should be able to do damage, of course, in this game against Texas. And, Odorizzi has not been very good at all this season, but, you're going up against a lineup that's really, probably worse, which is the Rangers. Martin and Garcia, the only 2 guys with a little bit of power potential. And really, I mean, there's nothing to like in this Rangers lineup. And you'll never see us backing this team at all this season. But yeah, Odorizzi hasn't been good, right? 421 weighted OBA to righties, 335 weighted OBA to lefties. Also ISO power, also really high to both sides as well. So, yeah, I mean, the Astros are passed for me. I guess the Astros on the team total will be the best play, maybe in the first 5, or if you want to, exploit the bullpen as well, you just go to the full game.
All right, Albers versus Lauer, 2 lefties on the mound, Minnesota and Milwaukee, 9.5 across the board, slight favorite here towards Milwaukee. Got to give the lean to Milwaukee. Even though I don't like Lauer as a pitcher, but I just trust Milwaukee more bullpen-wise, hitter-wise than Minnesota at this point. But I do think we have the possibility in the first 5 innings here, Kyle, to get some runs. What do you think here?
Yeah, I sort of looked at it, but it's sitting at 5.5 at even money. So if you can get like the 4.5 or 5, that's what it tells you right there. This was a complete stay away for me. I do think both of these lineups are sneaky in daily fantasy. If you're playing DraftKings or FanDuel daily fantasy contest, both pitchers absolutely hittable. If you take the combined weighted OPSs, is actually 2 of the highest on the board. I think this is the 3rd highest combined weighted 3 or OPS on the board. Both lineups absolutely live. I would say over in the game. I'm not touching a side here. It'd be a dog or pass situation for me if I were, just a sprinkle again. But, I mean, Eric Lauer, -4 his last start out against Minnesota. Of course, we know this Andrew Albers is mediocre at best, probably maybe at best going to go 4 innings. So for me, both teams' team totals are live. Like the lineups in DFS, but too iffy for me to pick a side.
All right, Cubs and the White Sox here. Battle of Chicago. Thompson versus Keuchel. Keuchel, heavy favorite here, -230. And I think, as we started off the show talking about who's in and who's out now, if you're now going to complete that lineup with Yasmani Grandal, which seems like it was probably that shortcoming where, Zavala was okay, hit the 3 home runs one game, but primarily not a very good baseball player. You add another legitimate veteran bat into that lineup. Like they need another one, like the hole in the head. I mean, this is a pretty good team, and they're going to be fun to watch in the playoffs. Talk about this game here between the Cubs and the White Sox in this this evening battle, Jason.
Yeah, look, the White Sox, they strike out 23.8% of the time against righties in the last 30 days, but Thompson is not a big strikeout thrower. So you have Abreu, Jimenez, Robert, Goodwin, all guys with lots of power against righties that can do plenty of damage. Then at the bottom of the order, you have Goodwin, Vaughn, Hernandez, and I guess we're not sure who the catcher will be at this time, but we know Grandal is a big walker. I think he was walking a huge amount of time before he got injured. So the bottom of the lineup, those guys are walking at a high rate, and the top of the order, they're driving in runs, and they got a lot of power for the White Sox. So if that's how this game works, you get the bottom of the order get on base and the top of the order to do some damage, and you'll see the White Sox, they'll score a lot of runs in the third, fourth, fifth inning around there. And then, of course, when you get to the Cubs bullpen, it gets even easier there. But I will say the Cubs, they do have a couple guys that can do damage against Keuchel. And Keuchel hasn't been great. 5.13 xFIP, striking out just 12.6% of the batters and walking 10.1%. The one thing he does really well, he gets ground balls, 61.1%, probably one of the best ground ball pitchers in all of baseball. But Schwindel, Wisdom, Chirinos, those guys all have high-weighted OBAs against lefties in the last 30 days. There's some potential in there, but obviously the White Sox a lot more to offer in their entire lineup. So I would go with the White Sox here.
There you go. By the way, we don't really cross-reference other sports, but interesting doings here. The BMW Championship in golf. Bryson DeChambeau is 12 under for his round today. He's not even done yet, which is
yikes.
How about that, Kyle? Would you like to have that on a nice little round out in the afternoon? About to get my 13th birdie of the day. What hole are you on, 15?
I would need a damn genie and a lamp and 3 wishes. That's the only way that's ever fucking happening to me. Okay,
maybe Tiger was golf back in the day. I don't know, but geez, that's outrageous type stuff. San Diego and LAA undecided on the Angels, and why should they decide anything? But then again, San Diego, maybe they can win a baseball game today. We'll see. Put Musgrove on the mound. They're a heavy favorite. Minus 205 in New Jersey. Minus 202 offshore. 9s across the board here. Should we say that San Diego should wake up at the plate today, Jason?
That's Kyle's turn.
Kyle, I'm gonna make what Goff threw me off. Yeah, I heard Kyle talk. I'm like,
really quick. This is going to be the quickest odds lightning round pick of the day. Stay the hell away from this game. Who the hell knows? You're going to get crappy pitchers. Who knows what these lineups are doing? 0 point to even look at this game or touch it with a 10-foot pole. There's so many better spots on today's card. Stay the hell away from this game.
And here's one of my favorite bets of the day today, which is usually every couple days you see this. Hey, by the way, guys in the back making the odds, the Dodgers don't have a pitcher. Throw a 250 up there. All right, minus 250 to minus 270 across the board. And we don't even know who's coming onto the mound for the Dodgers. That shows how dominant this baseball team is. Freeland, the lefty, will be on the mound. We do know that for sure. 9s and 8.5, Jason, across the board.
So I do have a Trey Turner to get 2 hits or more as an odds boost on Fox Bet for this, plus 200. So I'm rolling with that. Again, the lineup looks really good for the Dodgers, especially if Mookie Betts is back in the lineup. So now you got Turner and Betts. These guys haven't played with each other before, right? So now you have some speed at the top of the order, you have some power in the middle, and you have some contact at the bottom. Guys like Smith, guys like Taylor batting 7th and 8th in the lineup. It's ridiculous. And the Dodgers at home, obviously Rockies on the road have been awful, and the Dodgers, they've been fantastic all season, and they're just getting hot. Now they're getting healthy. Lots to like in this lineup for the Dodgers. So no matter who their pitcher is, the Dodgers, they probably should be a 250 favorite. But I think there's other ways to attack it instead of taking that minus 250.
All right, Kyle, here's what we got. Your neck of the woods out there in Seattle, a 10-10 game. It's a Friday night. If you're home watching this game on a Friday night, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Bubich, Gilbert, Kansas City, and Seattle. Maybe you're just a better man than I am, Kyle. What do you got for this one?
Things have gone horribly, horribly wrong in your life. Like, there's a whole season of America's Got Talent you can catch up on. Just watch that. You get to see some magicians, maybe a singer you like. Why the hell are you watching the Mariners and the Royals? It's actually funny. I think my sister and my nephews will be they live in Seattle and they're season ticket holders, so they might be at this game tonight. My nephews absolutely love Ty France and JP Crawford. They're absolutely in love with them. But I will say this. The Royals team total is live here against Logan Gilbert. This is not a world beater. It's a weighted 838 3-year OPS. The Royals team total is only 3.5. So I will say if I'm going to bet this game, if for whatever reason things have gone horribly wrong in my life and I've decided that I'm packing it in and just calling it a life and watching it, Royals team total over 3.5 makes quite a bit of sense here. Both pitchers kind of bad. I think the Mariners team total is certainly live. I've learned not to trust that anymore in my life, but I will say the Royals getting 4 runs does make a lot of sense.
No, it certainly does. And how about this? We are at the end of the show on a Friday. And I'd like to tell my two compadres here, Jason and Kyle, before you know it, it's going to be Monday morning. And, the weekend's going to be going nowhere. So I'd like to ruin that each and every Friday that we have. But before we get out of here tonight, we do like to clear the bases because, yes, Friday's payday. There's a lot of bets going around here. So let's get into it and find out exactly who we have today. Cincinnati Reds, for me, a value play. That's at 3.5 at BetMGM. I got it at 350. Oh, I didn't check lately, but I got it at 155 early in this morning. I think Kyle said maybe it's at 145 now, so
I had
a little
that,
bit lower.
It could have moved. But yeah,
that's fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
I think they get the 4 runs. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. My play of the day tonight, yes, you heard this right. The Mets team total, 4.5, minus 135, also at BetMGM. But I'm going with the FanDuel Sportsbook tonight for my odds boost. Hit one last night. They're nice, man. You get these plus 210s, plus 300s, plus 175s. They add up. So I'm going to go again with Garrett Cole tonight, 8 Ks and a Yankees W, boosted from 180 up to plus 210. That's what I'm digging on tonight on a Friday. Jason, where are you at? What do you got?
So we're going with the Rays over 3 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 131. That one via points bet against the Orioles there. And also the Nats over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total against my Mets at minus 130. But like we both said, we're probably going to see runs from both teams, and the Mets are going to win this game by scoring more than 5 runs. So excited for that game. I've been wanting to watch the Mets win for quite some time, and might get that tonight. With an odds boost, we're going with the Trey Turner to get 2 or more hits, boosted from plus 175 to plus 200 on Fox Bet. And then, of course, the big play of the day, the Cardinals over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total. It's now at plus 105. I got that at minus 105, but anywhere around that range is completely fine.
There you go, Kyle. What do you have tonight? Clear the bases. Let these good people know what we're on today.
Well, my best bet is the Reds team total over 3.5, and you're right, it is at 155 now at BetMGM. So a little steamed up, but we're going to go there. On the value menu, of course, we got the Blue Jays team total over 4.5. That's at minus 155 as well at BetMGM. The White Sox team total over 4.5, minus 145. I also forget I got the Reds on that play of the day, minus 0.5 in the first 5 at even money. Our odds boost are the Rays to win and Nelson Cruz to hit a home run at plus 425. Our strikeout prop, Logan Allen, under 2.5 strikeouts at plus money, plus 115. Our home run list is a long one tonight, but we got some boys on here. Eloy Jimenez, Pete Alonso, JD Martinez, Nelson Cruz, Nolan Arenado, Nick Castellanos, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and of course, Shohei Ohtani.
There you go. And yes, I am a crooner out here. Catch my live CD due out in the fall just after baseball season. We'll get after it. But that's our Friday show for this week. Another sensational week. A lot of fun. You guys, well over 400 people watching throughout the entire show. It's awesome stuff. The train does not stop here. We're going to go right through to the World Series. NFL's picking up, NCAA football. There's a lot of really good stuff here at sportsbookery.com. But we love the comments and coming in and supporting the shows. It's awesome. It allows us to do something that we really enjoy. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We're the Major League Baseball team here at sportsbookreview.com. And as always, it's the weekend. Good luck on those wagers.